Welcome back to Days Unraveling the Shadows over Marlena Evans. Welcome back to the Days of Our Lives channel. Today we dive into the gripping saga of Marlena Evans and the ominous return of her darkest nemesis. In the bustling town of Salem, where secrets simmer just below the surface, Dr. Marlena Evans, portrayed by the incomparable Deidre Hall, finds herself entangled in a web of sleepless nights and mounting unease. Recent episodes reveal her struggling with insomnia, a symptom tied to the whirlwind of personal upheaval she's endured, from family crises to unexpected losses that have shaken her core. This isn't just a passing phase, it's a deep-seated turmoil that echoes through her daily life, leaving her questioning her own resilience in the face of Salem's endless drama. Adding to the intrigue, Marlena has confided in close friends about vivid nightmares that blend her past traumas with shadowy figures from her history, hinting at something far more sinister brewing beneath her composed exterior. Lately, Marlena's health has taken a noticeable downturn, prompting her to seek medical advice from Sarah Horton, played by Lindsay Godfrey, who conducts a series of thorough examinations to uncover the root cause. These tests include blood work and scans, revealing subtle anomalies that Sarah suspects could be linked to stress or even a resurfacing condition from Marlena's storied past. Yet, as the results trickle in, it becomes evident that Marlena is slipping back into familiar patterns of vulnerability, reminiscent of times when external forces manipulated her very thoughts and actions. Inventing a fresh layer to this narrative, imagine Marlena discovering an old journal in her attic, filled with entries from years ago that detail unexplained blackouts, fueling her fear that history is repeating itself in unexpected ways. The resurgence of the Queen of the Night over the decades, Marlena has weathered an avalanche of emotional and psychological storms, many orchestrated by the infamous Stefano Di Mera, originally brought to life by Joe Mascalo. Stefano's obsession with claiming Marlena's affection knew no bounds, driving him to extreme measures that scarred her deeply, from kidnappings to mind-altering schemes that tested her sanity. This relentless pursuit painted Marlena as his Queen of the Night, a title that symbolized both his twisted adoration and the darkness he inflicted upon her life in Salem. To expand on this, picture Stefano's influence extending to subtle manipulations, like anonymous gifts arriving at Marlena's door. Roses with thorns that prick her memories, each one a reminder of battles she thought were long won. Fortunately, Marlena always had her steadfast protector in John Black, embodied by Drake Hodgson, who repeatedly swooped in to rescue her from Stefano's clutches and even supernatural threats like demonic possessions that gripped the town. John's heroism wasn't just physical. It was an emotional anchor, providing Marlena with the strength to face down evil time and again, their bond a beacon of hope amid Salem's chaos. In a newly invented twist, recall a pivotal moment where John, disguised as a shadowy operative, infiltrated one of Stefano's lairs to extract Marlena, using clever gadgets and quick thinking that highlighted his unwavering devotion. Tragically, John's absence now looms large, as he made the ultimate sacrifice to secure a life-saving serum intended to revive Bo Brady, portrayed by Peter Reckel. Aware of the perilous risks, John pressed on, driven by loyalty to his friends and an unyielding sense of justice, refusing to let Bo fade away without a fighting chance. This heroic act, set against the backdrop of a high-stakes laboratory showdown, left a void in Salem that no one could have anticipated, altering the dynamics for everyone connected to the Brady family. Expanding creatively, envision John's final moments filled with whispered promises to Marlena, vowing eternal protection even from beyond, a sentiment that now haunts her dreams and amplifies her current struggles. Since John's passing, Marlena has been adrift, her usual poise cracking under the weight of grief that exposes her to new vulnerabilities and potential dangers lurking in the shadows. This emotional fragility manifests in subtle ways, like forgotten appointments or distant stares during conversations, making her an unwitting target for those who might exploit her weakened state. Inventing an additional element, suppose Marlena begins experiencing fleeting visions of John in mirrors, blurring the line between mourning and something more otherworldly, heightening the tension in her storyline. Stefano Di Mera's shocking revival. The latest summer trailer for Days of Our Lives drops a bombshell. Stefano Di Mera appears to be alive once more, courtesy of the mad scientist Dr. Rolf, played by Richard Wharton, who engineers yet another improbable comeback to pursue his beloved Queen of the Night. This revelation sends shockwaves through Salem, as Stefano's return promises a cascade of intrigue and peril, building on his legacy of resurrection plots that defy logic and death itself. To lengthen this with new details, imagine the trailer featuring cryptic footage of a phoenix emblem glowing in a dimly lit lab, symbolizing Stefano's eternal rise, complete with whispers of his voice echoing through the halls. This marks far from the first instance where Dr. Rolf has aided Stefano in dominating Marlena's psyche, leading her to commit unwitting acts of malice under his influence. Past collaborations have involved serums that bend minds and revive the fallen, turning allies into puppets in Stefano's grand schemes. Creatively rephrasing, think of episodes where Marlena, under Rolf's experimental drugs, orchestrated elaborate deceptions, her actions a stark contrast to her role as Salem's trusted psychiatrist, adding layers of betrayal to her relationships. Marlena remains bewildered by these unfolding events, though her history equips her with a wary intuition honed from similar ordeals. She clings to the belief that Stefano's demise years ago ensured her safety, a conviction now crumbling as clues mount. In an invented expansion, Marlena stumbles upon a hidden message in an old locket from Stefano, decoding riddles that point to his imminent threat, forcing her to confront buried fears head-on. With Dr. Rolf potentially acting under the directives of Megan Di Mera, enacted by Miranda Wilson, his impending arrival spells isolation for Marlena, compelling her to navigate this storm solo. This setup raises the stakes, as Megan's involvement could introduce alliances with other Di Mera kin, complicating Marlena's path to freedom. Adding a new element, envision Rolf arriving in Salem under a false identity, blending into the community while secretly plotting, which Marlena must unravel through her own detective work. Could Roman Brady emerge as the savior? Fresh spoilers hint at a deepening connection between Roman Brady, brought to life by Josh Taylor, and Marlena, especially with John out of the picture and Kate Brady, played by Lauren Koslow, diving back into her professional pursuits. This shift opens doors to renewed intimacy, as shared histories and mutual support draw them closer in times of need. To elaborate, picture quiet evenings at the Brady pub where Roman offers a listening ear, their conversations laced with nostalgia that rekindles old sparks. Might Roman step up as Marlena's champion in John's stead, mirroring the fierce confrontations John once waged against Stefano for her sake? As Marlena's former husband, Roman's protective instincts could reignite, positioning him as a formidable barrier against emerging threats. Inventing a fresh detail, suppose Roman uncovers a hidden Di Mera file in his old ISA records, arming him with knowledge to counter Stefano's plans proactively. This plot thread might pave the way for a romantic revival between Marlena and Roman, particularly as Kate prioritizes her role at Titan over assisting Roman with the family bar, straining their bond. Kate's corporate ambitions could spark conflicts, leaving Roman to seek solace elsewhere. Expanding creatively, imagine a heated argument where Kate chooses boardroom battles over bar duties, pushing Roman toward Marlena's comforting presence. As Kate immerses herself in the cutthroat world of business, will it fracture her relationship with Roman irreparably? And what fresh torments will Stefano unleash on Marlena this time, testing the limits of her endurance and the loyalties of those around her? In a newly added twist, Stefano's scheme might involve a fabricated scandal that implicates Marlena in a crime, forcing Roman to choose between duty and desire, all while the Queen of the Night fights to reclaim her throne in Salem's turbulent landscape. This week, from July 21st to July 25th, 2025, viewers are in for a whirlwind of emotions, with heartfelt goodbyes, deceitful lies, courageous escape plans, and shocking health scares. Buckle up, because the week ahead promises drama, heartbreak, and moments that will stay with you long after the credits roll. For our loyal viewers, especially those who have followed the journey of Salem's beloved families for decades, this is a chapter you won't want to miss. A story comes to an end. Doug 3 bids Salem farewell. Salem is no stranger to bittersweet goodbyes, and this week brings one that's wrapped in sorrow, regret, and a hope for redemption. Doug Williams III, played by Peyton Meyer, the troubled grandson who tried to carry the family name with pride but stumbled too many times, makes the difficult decision to leave Salem behind. Doug's debts to a dangerous loan shark have finally caught up with him, and the consequences are spiraling out of control. His reckless choices didn't just endanger his own life, they put two innocent young girls, Ari Horton, Marissa Reyes, and Holly Jonas, Ashley Puzimis, in harm's way. Now, facing the weight of what he's done, Doug returns to a familiar face, Julie Williams, Susan Seaforth Hayes. In a deeply emotional scene, Doug stands at Julie's doorstep, full of shame. "I'm really sorry," he says, eyes brimming with tears, remorse dripping from every word. Julie, the matriarch who's weathered every storm imaginable, greets him with warmth despite the pain he's caused. Her words are soft but powerful. "You had so much potential." A mother's heart always aches for her family, and as she forgives him, we see a glimmer of healing. This heartfelt goodbye reminds viewers that while the road to redemption is never easy, sometimes forgiveness is the first step. Doug may be leaving Salem, but perhaps he's finally found the courage to find himself. A life begins, but built on a lie. As one story ends, another begins, or so it seems. Sophia, Rachel Boyd, sends a cryptic text that stuns Tate Black, Leo Howard. She claims she's gone into labor. Tate, caught between fear and excitement, immediately reaches out to her. "Are you okay?" he asks, his voice trembling with concern as his father, Brady Black, Eric Martsolf, watches anxiously in the background. Sophia's answer? "I had the baby." The news stuns Tate. But behind Sophia's composed words, there's a dangerous secret. She's lying. What is she hiding? Has the baby even been born? Or is this all part of a larger plan to keep Tate at a distance? Or perhaps manipulate him into a decision he's not ready to make? This lie threatens to unravel lives. Tate, who's shown incredible maturity and responsibility throughout Sophia's pregnancy, deserves honesty. But as we've learned in Salem, the truth has a way of surfacing, and when it does, it may change everything. The clock is ticking. EJ takes drastic action elsewhere. The tension tightens as EJ DiMera, Dan Feuerriegel, fights to clear his son Johnny's name from an attempted murder charge that's rocked the DiMera legacy. With Johnny, Carson Boatman, facing possible prison time, EJ turns to someone he once deeply distrusted, Belle Black, Martha Madison. Belle's suggestion? Hypnosis, guided by the only person EJ would even consider trusting with his mind, Dr. Marlena Evans, Deidre Hall. "I'm willing to try anything to find the culprit," EJ tells her, showing rare vulnerability as he surrenders to the possibility that the answers might be buried deep in his subconscious. Under Marlena's hypnosis, EJ drifts into a coma-like state, and almost immediately becomes distressed. Marlena, concerned, leans in. "Who are you talking to? Tell me what you saw," she urges. Is EJ seeing something from the night of the crime? Or is he confronting a memory long buried, one that could reshape the DiMera family's future? Two DiMera women, one chilling revelation. Meanwhile, the DiMera mansion simmers with secrets of its own. Two formidable women face off, Gabby Hernandez, Sherry Jimenez, and Gwen Rizek, Emily O'Brien. With Stefan DiMera, Brandon Barish, and Dimitri von Luskner both suspiciously missing, speculation runs wild. "Didn't you see him when he was still alive?" Gabby asks, her voice trembling as she refers to Stefan. Gwen, cool and calculating, doesn't miss a beat. It looks like Dimitri isn't the only DiMera missing. These chilling words cast a shadow over everything. Are the Demera men being targeted? Or are they orchestrating something more sinister behind the scenes? A daring escape. Young girls in peril in a plotline that's as tense as it is heartbreaking. Ari and Holly, both hostages in a warehouse, decide it's time to take matters into their own hands. No longer willing to wait for a rescue, they hatch a dangerous escape plan. If we can get this bar open, we can use it to crawl to freedom, Ari whispers. With courage beyond her years, she climbs into a ventilation shaft, Holly close behind. The plan seems to be working, until something goes terribly wrong. Ari's voice echoes in panic, something's going on. The screen cuts to black, leaving viewers breathless. Have they been discovered? Has the warehouse collapsed? The stakes have never been higher, and the clock is running out. A matriarch falls. What's wrong with Marlena? Back in Salem's courtroom, a moment of joy turns into sudden horror. Dr. Marlena Evans, the rock of Salem's medical community, collapses unexpectedly into Abe's arms, James Reynolds. Belle screams in horror. "Mommy, wake up," she pleads, rushing to her mother's side. EJ and Johnny, stunned, can only watch as the woman who's helped countless people through their darkest hours now lies unconscious. Could this be the result of stress, illness, or something more sinister? With Marlena's recent dizziness and memory lapses, viewers are left to wonder if her mind has been affected by something, or someone, more dangerous than they thought. Closing thoughts. Salem on the edge, from heartfelt goodbyes and shocking lies to dangerous escape missions and medical emergencies. This week on Days of Our Lives is not one to miss. Every character stands at a crossroads, and each decision could lead to salvation, or destruction. The world of Salem continues to twist and turn, and while love, loyalty, and justice are powerful, secrets, lies, and betrayal may still hold the upper hand. Stay tuned for more exclusive breakdowns, previews, and in-depth coverage as we continue to bring you every moment of this unforgettable journey.